Hello and welcome back to Absurdland. Explore the dark and twisted corners of history as we reveal a collection of shocking, crazy photos with stories that will leave you speechless. Let's start with a truly heartbreaking video. Yes, those are all women's hairs in the man's hand. As World War II ended, French women accused of collaborating with the Germans faced brutal public retribution. From Cherbourg to Rennes, these women were dragged into the streets, where their hair was forcibly shaved as a mark of shame. In addition to this, many were subjected to severe beatings and humiliation, with some being paraded in front of crowds with placards around their necks bearing derogatory messages. These scenes remind us of the complex and painful legacy of wartime collaboration and the harsh realities of vigilante justice. In certain extreme cases, women were even stripped of their clothing and forced to walk naked through the streets. The children born from these so-called horizontal collaborations were often ostracized and labeled as children of the enemy. Now, let's dive into some shocking and crazy historical photos with stories that will leave you speechless. One of the Sonderkommando photographs, women on their way to the gas chamber, Auschwitz II, August 1944. Some of these women were murdered within minutes of this photo being taken. Red Army prisoners of war forced to dig their own graves by Wehrmacht soldiers, Eastern Front, autumn 1941. Recently released Jewish prisoner attacks a German guard, 1945. It was an act of desperate vengeance after years of unimaginable suffering. This man was known as the human caterpillar because he was born limbless. For entertainment, he would roll himself over and light cigarettes with only his mouth. Pablo Noel performing a dangerous stunt in Hamburg, Germany. In 1962, he survived despite the stunt's extreme risk, but a failed attempt by a fellow performer resulted in a fatal accident just months earlier. 16-year-old Serbian partisan Slavoljub Slava Kovic, photographed by the SS before his execution. Due to his defiance for not telling the names of his comrades, Slavoljub was tortured and had a star carved with a knife on his forehead, representing the communist ideology. January 1942. A French World War I veteran poses for the camera. His horrific wounds are typical of the cost of trench warfare and the lethality of the then-new weapons of war. Norwegian Quislings, Nazi collaborators, of the collaborationist group Sonderabteilung Lola, stand trial for treason. They were responsible for torturing, killing, and systematically informing on resistance fighters. 1946. Execution of the murderer by burying him in the ground up to his neck. Unable to move, sleep, eat, or drink, he dies a slow and painful death. In this photograph, he is still alive. Persia, 1870s. Circus contortionist balancing with his teeth, circa 1900. Exhibitions at Coney Island's freak shows included Anita the Elephant Face Girl, who had a nose deformity that resembled an elephant's trunk. Grady Stiles Jr., the Lobster Boy, known for his claw-like limbs, led a violent and alcoholic life. In 1992, his wife and son, fed up with his brutal behavior, hired a hitman to kill him. Despite his troubled legacy, his son, Grady Stiles III, continues the family's sideshow tradition today. A circus performer balances precariously with an elephant in 1937, pushing the limits of daring and trust in a jaw-dropping display of human-animal synergy. American Nazi Party founder George Lincoln Rockwell poses in front of his home, adorned with a giant swastika in 1965. 2 years later, he was shot dead near his home by an expelled member of his party. The house stands in Arlington. U.S. Nazi Party leader George Lincoln Rockwell, speaking at a podium in support of the Vietnam War. His future alleged assassin John Patler stands beside him in Washington, D.C., 1966. 6-foot-tall Felipe Ramirez Perez is caught by Immigration Inspector Richard McCowan as he tries to enter America. San Diego, 1954. A mother homeschools her 2 children in Louisiana, USA, in 1937. This 1941 summer photograph from Ukraine shows an Einsatzgruppen soldier and an unidentified mother and child. It starkly illustrates the horrors of war and the Nazi regime's cruelty, as these units carried out mass killings. The drummer boy of Chickamauga. When a Confederate colonel called John Clem a damned little Yankee devil and demanded his surrender at the Battle of Chickamauga in 1863, John shot him dead and became the youngest non-commissioned officer in U.S. Army history. Cuckoo the bird girl had a genetic mutation which gave her bird-like features. Parisians tear Christian Dior's dress off a model, 1947. A strong man tested his strength at the Coney Island amusement park by allowing servicemen to pull his neck with ropes. Residents of the Riverside neighborhood in Fort Worth, Texas, demonstrating in front of the house of Lloyd G. Austin, an African-American man who had recently moved into the all-white neighborhood in 1956. Orphan boy selling his father's Iron Cross for cigarettes in Berlin, 1945. Renowned psychotherapist and Auschwitz survivor Dr. Viktor Frankl in 1947, a few years after losing his wife, unborn child, parents, and brother in the Nazi camps. German World War I veteran begs on the streets of Berlin, Germany, 1923. On March 21, 1946, the Beautiful Legs contest from Broadway to Coney Island was held. Faxed newspaper. In 1938, the world's first wireless newspaper was sent from WWII radio station in New York City. In this photo, children are reading the children's page of a Missouri paper. Goalkeeper Jack Kirby refuses to give a Nazi salute, unlike his Derby County teammates. The photo was taken when Derby County Football Club traveled to Germany to play 4 soccer matches in different cities against German 11 teams in 1934. Guards of Delhi Darbar, India posing with James Rickelton, an American photographer, in 1903. Richard Winters and Easy Company at the Eagle's Nest, Hitler's former residence in the Bavarian Alps, 1945. Soviet soldier carrying the head of a statue of Hitler, Berlin, 1945. Knife Girl in a carnival performance circa 1950. circus legend Carl Wallenda crossing the Tallulah Gorge on July 18, 1970. U.S. Army forces on their way to Los Angeles during the crackdown of the 1992 riots. Let's end on a heartwarming note with these two photos that brighten the somberness of the previous ones. Two soldiers greeting each other. World War II, Battle of the Bulge, January 1945. Red Army soldier with a kitten during World War II.
Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.